Welcome, guys, to a very special edition of the Esports Report live updates. Today, we are talking about the MLG Winter Invitational. Of course, we invited 8 of the top Call of Duty teams in North America to compete in an invite-only tournament. They've been doing 2 weeks of round robin. A third week starts on Monday, and then we have our semifinals and grand finals Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. But lots of games have been played so far, and we have a number of teams all competing for those 4 spots in the playoff bracket. Curse Las Vegas is the only team to have secured a spot so far in the tournament, a 91 win percentage. They are currently 10-1. EnVyUs has the second highest win percentage despite not playing as many games as some of the other teams on here. They are currently 5-4 in second place. Strictly Business, they went 7-6 after a win last night, and Optic Gaming, they're now positive with a 53% win percentage, picking up huge wins over Cursed New York to close out their evening on last night's Winter Invitational broadcast. And there you can see on the second half, Cursed New York, Kaliber, FaZe, all fighting to get into the top 4, just a few games behind. So it's anyone's game to see who is going to end up in the Final Four. Every single match matters. And, of course, tonight we will be going live at 6 p.m. with more matches. Those matches tonight will feature Cursed New York, Envy, FaZe, and Kaliber all this evening. And if you don't know who these teams are, let's take a minute and introduce them as we break down each team one by one, starting off with Cursed Las Vegas. Now, this squad has been absolutely running through everyone in the Invitational. It's Parasite, Killa, and Miracles, 3 of the 4 from the Farico Impact squad that won the World Championships for Black Ops 2. They're looking extremely strong after adding Ricky in place of Nameless. So, Curse Las Vegas, they're the number 1 spot. Everyone else is chasing them at the moment, and our number 2 team for the moment is EnVyUs. The boys in blue have gone through a number of roster changes, but here they are now. Rambo not coaching. He's playing alongside Merc, Study, and of course, they picked up Nameless. Nameless, he was floating around, was on Curse Las Vegas to start it, went to FaZe, now on Envy, and he is really fitting in well with this squad. Very strong submachine gun team. Our next squad to take a look at is going to be Team Kaliber. Let's take a look at these guys. Of course, Kaliber, they're 4-5. They're struggling a little bit, but you got to give them props for what we've seen so far. TK went out and picked up Gunjar from Envy, bringing him back on the roster to fill in that spot for Neslo. And Formal, the former MLG Halo Pro, is going to be their 4th. So the Kaliber lineup has had some time to practice. They're going to put on a show on their matches tonight they're playing. You can also catch them early next week. Now, moving on past Kaliber, let's go to our 3rd-seeded team. This one is going to be Strictly Business, who I don't think anyone gave enough credit to at the start of the Winter Invitational, led by the vocal leader, Sensor. Originally, they had Fears, who's now replaced by Dito, and then Apathy and Saints. Now, the interesting part of this, Saints had the opportunity to join the most popular team in Call of Duty, Optic Gaming. He was on there for about a week and a half. Decided things weren't as fun as they were on Strictly Business, wasn't having as much success with that lineup, left Optic, and is now leading SB to a 3rd place. But they're tied with the same record as this Optic Gaming squad, who is currently tied for 3rd in that 4th position. Here's a look. We got Nade Shot. Scumpy is back on the green wall. Clayster, we'll be talking with him a little bit later. And then Embos has been such a strong addition as a search and destroy superstar. This may be the strongest Optic Gaming lineup that we've seen in a year. I'm really excited to see how they perform. We've seen improvements day to day. Last night, they went 2-0. Moving on now to our number 5 team, Cursed New York was unable to beat Optic Gaming and lost their even record. They are now currently sitting at 5-6. And this squad, also another very underrated team in my opinion. They played as E-Girl Slayers at the last event. You got Revan leading the team as the captain. And this Cursed New York team, I had them in my Final 4. Currently, they're sitting in that 5th spot, but I think they will be able to make some moves, especially if Blindfire continues to play as strong as he was in some of those Dom games last night. 6th place, we talked about it, that is Team Kaliber. And then we go down to FaZe, who is tied with Kaliber for that 7th place for now. but they're only one game away from being even, and I guess it's 6 wins behind the leader, but they're at a 44% win record, same as Kaliber. Curse New York's at 45. Optic Gaming is at 53. So just 1 or 2 games could totally change the direction for these teams. And FaZe sitting at 4 and 5. You gotta like their odds. JCap has been playing phenomenally well. They picked up Proofy as well on this squad. So the Dose Jays are back together. Keep an eye on FaZe as they will be competing this evening in addition to our other 3 teams. Finally, at the bottom, Denial is the only team that basically is out of the running for the top 4 spots. Everyone within just a few games of going positive or having a winning record. Denial has no chance of that. Currently 2-11 with a 15%. Now, guys, I'm sure there's a lot of questions on how the tiebreakers are going to work because, of course, we only have 3 more days of round robin before we get into the playoff bracket. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'll explain how the tiebreakers are going to work, who you can expect to see in that top 4. We'll also be talking to 2 very special guests here on the Esports Report Update. Clayster is coming back on to talk Optic Gaming, and Revan is going to give us some insight into his team, Curse New York.